NBA 2K20's new trailer features slot machines, prize wheels, and pachinko, and Apex Legends is selling an axe skin for $170. But first, is a remake ever worth full price? The reason I brought this up today is that we've been seeing a lot more remasters and remakes in the industry, I think, than we've ever seen before. We had Resident Evil 2 earlier this year. Classic WoW just launched. Warcraft 3 is coming out soon. Link's Awakening has been announced. Final Fantasy 7, and now I've even seen that Aladdin and The Lion King, the old Sega classics, are actually coming back and are being remade as well, which you can't really go further back than that. I think that these remakes are due to a multitude of factors that I think that we can go through, but the main point of today's show is really based on the question, since most people that are going to be excited for a remake and the people that are going to purchase the remake have probably already experienced the game fully, maybe multiple times over already, can you really ever justify paying full price for the new product?
I'd say no, but that's me.
I think it depends on the game. Like, for example, for Warcraft 3 Reforged, I think that it's only like $30 to pre-order it, which $30 for a game that is multiplayer and online and you get tons of, mileage out of. I'm cool with that. That doesn't really bother me too much.
What was that game when it came out originally?
I think it was like $20 for each, for like Reign of Chaos, and then $20 for the expansion, I think.
Yeah.
Close to that.
Yeah, I know when you buy it now, like I just pre-purchased, like you get the old version of the game too.
Yeah, right. To play in the meantime, and it just depends on the game for me. But like if it's an online multiplayer game, I feel like you get more mileage out of the game itself. Whereas like if it's a single player, like story driven game, like once you play it once or twice, you're probably gonna be like, okay, that's enough. Just my opinion, obviously.
That's a good distinction to make. Definitely. I think there's also another, difference you can make there between, I guess something like Link's Awakening and Final Fantasy 7, definitely, where not only are the graphics upgraded and it's going to be on a new platform and everything like that, but you're also getting new story elements to flesh out the game world. You're getting a little bit extra than you got originally when you compare that. Probably, I can't speak for Resident Evil 2. I imagine it was pretty similar to what the original game was offering, and obviously classic WoW is, complete as best they could with a new engine, re-emulation of that base game. You're really not getting anything new to that, at least we know right now.
I'm not sure I can agree with it on Final Fantasy VII because you're only getting a third of the game from what we understand.
I mean, they are, but they are going to be, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that price tag is going to be nasty, but you are going to get, you will get the full story with extra.
You are getting a whole revamped story, but like if you think to the end, like will the next iterations of the story be through DLC? Will they be whole new games? Will you have to buy another copy?
Yep.
So if you're thinking full price tag, then you're paying upwards of $200 for a game that you've already played the whole way through once already. $200, $180.
Yeah.
Which
is, I think that's definitely too much. You're right there. I think like a time will tell kind of thing with Final Fantasy, but I'd like to imagine they're going to do what they did with 15 and with the episodic releases after the base game came out. It was DLC. It was not full price game. It was, I think a few of them were like $15 and other ones were free, things like that. I imagine they'll probably be at a similar price point.
I hope you're right.
And Matt and I have already discussed that we think that Resident Evil was too expensive. Even one of our friends who was really excited about it played it, and he even said that $60 was, like 40 or 30, I think, is like what Dave's saying, especially when you're getting, and I argued for Resident Evil's replayability, but $60 for Resident Evil remake, in my own opinion, I'm just not there with that price.
It's funny that you bring that up, and I don't want to rehash the entire conversation that we've had like multiple times on here about why I think that it was too expensive, but when I was researching this topic and putting the outline together for the show today, I actually ran into a Reddit post that was actually super active, and it was saying that, and it was asking the question, putting the question out there of whether or not Resident Evil 2 remake was worth the price tag. And everybody like wholeheartedly, unanimously said, absolutely 100%, this game is worth $60. Like, you have to buy it. And I was sitting there like reading it, thinking in my head, like, I mean, no, it wasn't. Like, objectively, it was not. And like everybody's reasoning was like, okay, well, there's 4 different storylines. Like, you have Claire, Leon. I consider those basically all one storyline because it's not enough change to justify another playthrough. I think that people can say whatever they want. My personal opinion is that is not the case. But then they say you get like Hunk's playthrough afterwards, and then you get like something else. I forget who the other person is. But like, yeah, okay, so if you're going to play every single thing like that, maybe, but it's still almost the same game, and nobody wants to play through that. So you're not getting that playtime. You're not getting the playtime of that unique experience. I just found it crazy that everybody was saying unanimously again that it was like definitely worth the price and to pay it, because to me it was very clear that it was not.
I can understand if all those playthroughs were, I mean, you just named the same character is the main focus of 2, and then 2 again. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But if they were all in one like continuous storyline, and that was like the completion of the game, like you played as everybody like sequentially and got everything out of it in like one playthrough, and you were getting something extra as opposed to like that original Resident Evil 2 game, like this reimagining had something to justify a $60 price tag. It's wild.
And like we talk a lot, we just talked a lot about the fact that classic WoW is a lot cheaper to make in our last show, and that's very, very true, and that's a big reason why Blizzard wanted to try to do it, and that's the case I think with remakes as a whole, and that's why it's one of the main reasons the studios want to keep making these, is because they're cheaper, they're safer, you have an audience that's already built in, you know that people are going to buy it. But like when looking at it from that perspective, I mean, shouldn't the games be a little bit cheaper because there is a lot less dev time going into them?
Yes, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it depends on the game too, because like, I mean, WoW Classic, you still get, you know what I mean, your subscription pays for retail too, so it's not like you're getting the current version of the game as well. You know what I mean? You get both things for the same price that you would normally pay for one. So it's not like if you're already playing normal WoW, you're not spending any more money to play Classic.
Would you have spent $60 to play Classic WoW though? Or would you have paid an additional $15 a month to play Classic WoW, do you think?
I would have probably played one or the other if that was the case, because $30 a month in subscriptions to play an MMO is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus you got your Disney Plus, and you got your
and I
Apple
think
TV.
I think at least when it comes to Blizzard, they realized that like if it was 2 separate subscriptions, it would have never worked.
So in that case, yeah,
there's blatant gouging in this topic. You know, like Wolf had brought up a couple podcasts ago, they're remaking Final Fantasy VIII, right? It's not getting the same revamp that Final Fantasy VII is getting, but didn't they already like HD remake this for Steam? And I bought that for $20. Now they're going to do it again and charge another 20. So what are they just going to get rid of the one that I paid for? Like
they usually
a little bit of a year ago. You know, like how many times is Square Enix going to remake Final Fantasy VIII and charge everybody $20 a pop every time they do it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, like what is the catch with the new FF8?
It's
like if I'm a consumer,
yeah.
I mean, why do I want to buy it? I guess is my question.
You can see people's faces. I guess that's.
Oh, okay.
They're not so pixelated.
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, the graphics were pretty horrendous.
But I mean, is that really the main update? Like, it's just a graphical.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a blatant gouge, in my opinion. This Final Fantasy VIII. It's just speaking for Final Fantasy VIII. It's a gouge. And to go on to the Link's Awakening thing. Yeah, it's great. It looks cool and fun, and it's fun to go back and play that. You know, whatever. But for $60, I mean, you can't hardly find anything on the Nintendo market that isn't $60, to be straight up honest with you, you know.
That's true.
But, like I had a tweet not too long ago that was talking about why Skyrim is being sold on there for $60, and it was like remade for the Switch, and it's lower quality because you don't have a better resolution. You know, you have a worse resolution.
Well, and when did that game come out? Skyrim, was that
2012?
2018
12.
Okay.
But other outlets are selling it for $20 or $30.
Right.
But Nintendo wants you to pay $60 for it, and they want $60 whether it's physical or digital.
Yeah, which is another thing that we talk about a lot too. And digital should be a little bit cheaper. I think everybody agrees that there's less cost in digital.
I mean, I don't know what it costs. I mean, I'm no expert on what it takes and the resources involved to remake a game like Link's Awakening. I mean, I'm sure when you get a remake that looks something like what we were seeing in Final Fantasy VII, that's some pretty big budget looking stuff we're getting out of that. But Link's Awakening is like sprite models.
Yeah, it's
like
not...
we haven't seen anything. Like we saw this on the Nintendo 3DS years and years ago. You know, like what's so great about it? This, you know, like I said, I think there's blatant gouges in this topic that, you know.
No, I do. I do too. I'm actually glad you said that. That's kind of why I brought it up. I mean, I think that it's a genuine question, but I do think that there is some gouging. But we also just had a conversation when Morgan was on from Sword Chomp. I forget what episode that was. Now like 26, 27, 28, maybe. Anyway, where we talk about wanting to have that unique experience that we haven't had before. And it seems like as gamers now, that's what a lot of us are chasing, right? Something that we haven't seen before, a new landscape, a new story, a new character, anything, right? And I feel like with these remakes, yeah, you're getting nostalgia and you're chasing nostalgia, really. I think more than getting it, I think you're chasing it. But you're paying a full price for something that you've already experienced multiple times over, and you're not getting that new thing. And I don't see the appeal in it. I think that even if I were to get a game remade that I really loved, even if it was a game that I wished was remade, I don't think I would enjoy it.
It is always a little bittersweet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like any kind of game that I go back and play after a long time. What I think of, like Majesty, the Fantasy Kingdom sim and stuff like the games I loved when I was a kid. And granted, like you go back and you play them, and the game's still fun, but you can never capture what it was like at the time to play it. And I think a lot of people are gonna come to realize that with like classic WoW and maybe not Final Fantasy VII. I think that one's gonna be different enough that I think if anything on the list that, you know, examples coming up recently, I think that's probably the only one that will justify a full price game. But I think you're right, Matt. Like everybody's kind of just chasing the nostalgia, and I don't think we're ever really going to capture it again, unfortunately.
2 points. Now that you brought up Majesty,
yeah,
Aladdin and Lion King are older than that by years.
Oh, they're old as dirt, man. Yeah.
So what are they going to want for these? You know, you can buy Majesty 1 and 2, like gold version, for like $10 or less. You know what I mean? What are they going to want for? I guarantee you that Aladdin alone is going to be triple that price tag. You know, at minimum, you know. And another thing was, so we're getting Master Chief Collection, right? So
of course
they've remade. I think there's gouging here, but there's also, like what Matt's saying, they're chasing nostalgia, but they're giving us, okay, so Combat Evolved was on PC. So we get Combat Evolved again, but they remade that and sold it separately. They remade Halo 2 and sold that separately. But we're also, you know, I was saying when they released this on PC, since I already own it on Xbox, and since there's a Microsoft app on PC, well, I have to rebuy Halo Master Chief Collection again.
Do you want to know the answer?
For the oh yeah, I know I have to, but to say, like, you're getting 6 games there. Like, they're adding Reach to this now. You get Halo 1, both versions, Halo 2, both versions, 3, 4, 5, ODST and Reach.
Yep.
So I think that maybe, and I might be a little biased here because I'm a Halo guy, that you can justify a $60 price tag. You're getting how many games? And not only that, you're getting both versions of some of these remakes. I don't know.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I'm buying it either way.
I mean, maybe the people who
will I be happy with the $60 or not? I don't know. But Halo is like my sweet spot. My brain just shuts down when it comes to Halo. I just kind of buy it and forget about it. It's like the one franchise that I can't miss. So I'm guilty of everything that I'm talking about people doing with Halo. It's just I can't miss it. But I guess just to follow up on this conversation, I think that we're going to continue to see more remakes and remasters as we continue down the road. For a lot of reasons. Again, I think that there's a multitude of them. But what do you guys think? Do you think that there's a trend that we're going to keep seeing where these remasters and remakes are flooding the market, or do you think we're going to see more new IP?
This isn't going away.
As long as we keep taking the bait.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Which isn't. Yeah, exactly.
It's a low risk, high reward scenario for the developers and the gaming companies to do. Cause you know what I mean? You already have like the concept of the game and a lot of the design and everything. You just have to like reimagine it with better graphics and shit. So like it's not, you know what I mean? You don't have to put as much, there's not as much investment in it like a new IP. So, and people are still going to buy it. So why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? It's like low effort, but you still get a return. Like the risk isn't there like it is with the new IP.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think another big factor is just the fact that, I mean, it's pretty simple, but there's just way more games every year that become classics that people want to be remade. As graphics and everything, just as new hardware gets better, and people have new IP and good experiences, they want those games to be updated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's graphically that has to be one of the biggest driving forces of it. I mean, think about the kind of games we were playing as kids and the graphics of that time, like Final Fantasy VII. Like those characters in that game, for the most part, like didn't have like real human features or form to them, and no voice acting. The CGI, the cutscenes in it were, hilariously bad still, even at that time. So
I can still remember the way that they'd come walking into the room,
right, like
moving their arms, they'd always be always be sliding in, right, and karate chopping everybody in front of them
with their diamond hands.
Yeah.
Watch out for the pointy bits.
Oh man.
But seriously, yeah, they had to. That's got to be it. That's it for me. Like, I don't want to hear Cloud's voice and stuff like that in Final Fantasy VII, but I do want to see those characters with the upgraded visual fidelity. I want to see that. That's really cool to me.
I mean, I think if they were going to throw in a voice like that, what you're saying, Wolf, they would I feel like they would have to go and get Advent Children Cloud voice actor to come in and do that.
I mean, it is decided. I don't know if it is the same guy or not. I want to say it is, but
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe, but I would think that to not do that and then have a voice actor.
Yeah.
Risky move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's good. Things are going to get even riskier, I guess, as you move forward, when, I don't know, games within the last even 10 years here that had the better graphics and reasonable voice acting and things like that. If you decide to start remaking those, and then you're going to have these direct comparisons, are they going to be that successful at that point in time? If somebody butchers the voice acting, you don't capture the same emotion of these characters in the game. Could really
you're seeing
on the story.
Well, you're seeing it with Morrowind and Oblivion now, and they're more it seems like they're more just fan made passion projects at the core, which is super cool. But I think you're right. It's if Oblivion's going to start being remade, not that it doesn't look bad now, but it's not that bad. Oblivion is still playable. It has its quirks. Graphically, it can definitely be updated. But I mean, how long until people are asking for a Skyrim update? A full remaster. It came out in 2011. I mean, I could see people asking for that. Think of when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out and it looks way better and it plays way better. People are going to be when can we get the Skyrim update?
As long as
Bethesda's
they
gonna be like, what?
I think maybe you'll see that down the road, but as long as they can gouge people for mods, especially on console.
Yeah, it's bullshit there.
I
don't know if I want to go down that road.
But they can make their money off that. They don't need a remake. But I mean, like Aladdin and Lion King, come on, seriously.
Well,
I hope those games get to bed. Seriously,
and like for
get
me,
out of
like
here.
if you don't like remakes, which I get that some people don't, and like, but they wouldn't make them if people weren't going to buy them. So it is on the consumer to some extent to like, if you really don't want them to do remakes, then don't fucking buy it. But everybody's buying them, so like, why wouldn't they do it?
You know, if the movies are going to flop, why do they think that the games aren't? And the gaming industry is even more harsh.
But are the movies flopping?
Aladdin did.
I mean, are people just saying that they're flopping? Like, okay, let me rephrase the question. When people are saying they're flopping, does that mean that they didn't make $500 million? They only made 50 million? Or, I mean, what is a flop?
I mean, I get what you're saying. And yeah, I mean, it's not like they didn't make money. You know, Activision looks at like Black Ops 4 as a flop, and that made a killing, you know? So
right.
I get where you're coming from, but like, who the hell asked for an Aladdin Sega game remake?
I don't think there's much outcry for that right now. Really?
Who the hell asked for that? No one.
Yeah, like that.
I love that game.
Yeah, I mean, I like that was a cool game, but like I can't. You know what I mean? I can't speak to why they're doing that or who wants that, but like in regards to like classic WoW, like people have been asking for that since like the fucking beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a lot of interest in it because there's literally people fucking pirating the game and making private servers and shit. You know what I mean? So like that one, I can understand why they did it because there was a big outcry for it from the community, and like it was really well received that they were going to do it. You know?
Right. Well, then you couldn't actually. I mean, technically, you know, hosting those servers was kind of like a legal gray area, even over in Europe when they did it. So like the game essentially didn't exist for a lot of people anymore. It's not like Aladdin in Final Fantasy VII where you can just, you know, emulate it or, you know, pop it in your old, you know, your Super Nintendo or your PlayStation and go back and play the game. Like literally people could not, some people, I mean, didn't have the technical know-how to get in there and play these games anymore, or didn't feel right doing it.
Those games can burn in a fiery hell, if you ask me, these remakes.
I want to go back.
Not on board.
I want to go back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, and just the fact that everyone's going to buy them anyway, and that there is a consumer responsibility to not buy these games. I think like the big question that I have moving forward, I think that we can all agree that the remakes are coming and we can't stop them. Whether they're full price or half price or discounted or whatever, they're going to be released. Is there a point, do you think, where consumers push back on this? Or are people just going to eat this shit up no matter what? Like they do with a lot of movies. Like they do with the Star Wars franchise. Like they do with the last season of Game of Thrones, the train wreck that it was.
There's a generation of kids that I feel like could use a Lion King or an Aladdin game, sure, if they really like that, right? I mean, why not? There too, but like... 30 seconds ago, I just said they can burn in hell, but now I'm saying it. But I think as long as remakes and reboots and rehashes are a thing that's going on in pop culture, they're just going to keep coming. It's regardless.
Yeah, everything seems kind of cyclical, though. I don't think that just applies to like video games, right? I mean, I feel like we're getting that like revitalization of like that. I don't know, that like retro-y kind of like 80s look. That kind of stuff's like kind of flowing back around again. I think it's always going to be a thing, and I know it's definitely kind of new for video games because video games haven't really been around for that long. And obviously we're going to keep seeing it. It's just going to keep going over and over again. But to answer that question about like backlash, I feel like we already did see a little bit of backlash. When they tried to release like those classic, like the PlayStation Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic and stuff like that, people didn't really receive those too well. They were kind of chintzy, cheap, didn't love that it was just like an emulation box, didn't have all the games that you really wanted, and you were kind of even felt like they were overpaying for something that was relatively cheap, and it just wasn't an amazing product.
From what I understand, I thought that the Super Nintendo one sold like hotcakes. Like they couldn't even keep up with it.
Was that yeah, I don't, PlayStation, I don't think people were as happy with.
But I think it was like $100 to have like a massive library. But at the same time, like people like us would just be like, just buy a Raspberry Pi or do it on your computer, you know?
Right.
And then you can optimize it to a higher resolution too. You know, you don't have to play in a. I don't know. I don't know anything about the PlayStation Classic one really, but from what I understand, that those Nintendo ones were selling like they couldn't even keep up with the orders.
Yeah, I think that we did see pushback there. That's a really good point. I forgot about that. That was like such a blip on my radar. I barely even remember that this came out. I feel like we're in like a weird culture right now where like our generation and maybe even like the people a little bit older than us are like having trouble like letting go of things from their childhood. And I don't know if that's due to like video games being newer or technology increasing, so like you have access to all of your like almost like memories like all the time. I think that has something to do with it, but I feel like as long as that's going on, and I don't see that going away, like I feel like we'll be looking, you know, I'll be talking about Halo, I'll be 75, you know, and it's like you guys would be like, Matt, like you've played Halo 3 since you were in like high school. I'll be like, yeah, I know, but like I don't know.
So great.
But I feel like just be like being on Twitter and like seeing people like what they talk about and what people post every day. It's nonstop like late 90s, early 2000s stuff, like constant.
Well, I think maybe Wolf made a good point there, and like maybe it's just kind of trendy and we're not used to it because games as a whole are a pretty, you know, like infantile hobby, you know, like we just don't, you know, clothes trends and movies and everything else, you know, they're swinging back around, and you know, like we see, you know, the word pop culture, and this is kind of like a first, you know, maybe it's just kind of like phase one. You know, maybe we'll see a Witcher remake 20 years from now, you know, when it swings back around then. Yeah. It could just be a fad, like Wolf's saying. Like we have, maybe this is new to us. You know, we have yet to see it because we're in it. You know, like it's still new to everybody for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like classic cars and stuff like that. You know, obviously at the time, like you didn't think people didn't hang on to all of them and stuff like that. And 50 years, 60 years later, it's like an amazing hobby. People look back to that kind of stuff. Granted, like, yeah, you have that ability now with something digital, like a video game, that you can actually recreate it and reimagine it in a much greater way with, you know, the changing of the times, increasing technology. It's pretty amazing what they can do.
I remember getting a Sega Genesis at a garage sale for $1, and it came with the original box, like the whole package deal, all the controllers, a ton of games, you know, pristine. And my dad threw it away, the whole thing. And I remember being like, yeah, like, dude, come on. And he's like, wait, you ain't gonna use it. It's like, but it's gonna be worth something, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, I was looking through like our old Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards and stuff. If you have the first edition originals of those, they're worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
individual cards.
Yeah, they have to be in. You have to get them like graded though. They have to be in good condition. If they're not worth dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like exactly like fucking throwing my cards all over the room and shit. You know, like, I mean, they were like, I had them in sleeves, and you know, I had a bunch of binders.
Did you have one of those Yu-Gi-Oh things that they actually had in the show?
No, I didn't have. No,
the blade
I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even think you can look at the cards for too long. It degrades the value of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, you spend too much time with those things.
I played with my eyes closed.
Right.
So Matt, that's a monster card, not a magic.
I can tell.
Oh, okay. How about this?
He's using the energy cards when he's playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I had my binder was all decked out. I used to print out like colored photos of different Pokemon. I'd like paste them to the front of the binder. You know, I'd have like Squirtle and I had like fucking Dugong. I think was on there. I had like the whole crew, man.
Dugong,
That was
yeah.
my guy.
Oh, yeah, of
You
course.
activated my trap card, bitch.
But anyway, all right, let's jump down to the first news story of the day. NBA 2K20's new trailer features slot machines, prize wheels, and pachinko. I shit you not, I watched the trailer for the game. It is hilarious. Adam, you asked if it was a joke before we got on. I wish that it was. I really don't think that it is, though, because it seems like it's super serious. It's really sweaty. I found this kind of funny because, well, we talked about NBA 2K19 having the in-game ads, the unskippable in-game ads, which was really a riot. We had a good laugh about that. But now they're doing this with their loot boxes when it seems like other developers are getting away from loot boxes, like due to public pressure and due to pressure from governments as well. But 2K is all in. Like, they're not even disguising the loot boxes. It's literally like you pull a slot machine and like the 3 reels spin and like you get players. It was the whole trailer. There was no basketball involved. It was all like casino gimmicks. But what are your thoughts on this? I mean, what is 2K thinking? Like, they can't think that the audience is going to like something like this.
I mean, I feel like the suckers are just going to go right for it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Everybody eats FIFA up still.
That's true. I don't know if they have pachinko, though.
They're the only options, though, right? I mean, FIFA's the only option. NBA 2K is the only option right now. You can't play basketball unless, or soccer, or football, whatever you want to call it. I should buy those.
Doesn't basketball have another version? It's not 2K. It's live NBA.
It used to have. It used to have.
Yeah.
Live. That was EA's version.
Mm-hmm. They're gone
this
now.
This is EA, right?
No, this is 2K.
2K.
2K Sports. I don't even know if they're go by that anymore.
Yeah, I think people see this stuff, you know, and maybe it's almost kind of like a good thing because, you know, a lot of these people who bitch and whine about games and the way the industry is monetized and marketed, like, as they try and pull more and more out of these people who are, you know, like I would say people who play, you know, there's some hardcore sports, you know, there's Madden tournaments and stuff, but I feel like, you know, and everybody can flame me for saying this, but I feel like that's generally more of a casual crowd. You know what I mean? Like they're not really, those are the people who aren't on here watching videos like this and going on and checking news trending. Like they're going to buy the game and look at it and go, what the hell is this? And the damage is already done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're not really looking into what it's going to be about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that make any sense?
You're right.
There's
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I think, I don't know, I get it sometimes too, with sports games, especially in the monopoly that is going on with sports games. You get that itch to play them because I loved like playing hockey and football games. I obsessed over them as a kid, like constantly played them. You just get that itch and like you don't have any outlet. You're just going to buy it. And maybe that's all it is. Like they know that you can't go anywhere else for your basketball itch. Like you have to buy it from us unless you want to go down to the gym and play. But
and the shitty thing about
you're not gonna watch the NBA.
No, you're not gonna do that either.
As the yearly game comes out too, like the populations on the older games that may have been better gets smaller and smaller, you know, and support becomes less and less, you know, important to the to the producers and the developers of those games because they have the new versions, you know. So it's not even like you can take an outlet and go, well, I'm just going to play the other one because a lot of the population and community in that game has moved on to probably the newer one, you know.
There's this theory that I was reading about the other day, and I forget what it's called now. It's like door to the face theory or something. It's something like that. That's not correct. Don't look that up, but it's something like that. But it's like it not just video games. I think it relates to other things as well. But basically, what it comes down to is that a company will like release something initially that is like the worst possible thing that they know that the audience doesn't want. And then after the audience complains, they'll roll changes back and then give you the product that they actually wanted to give you. That still sucks from a consumer perspective, but it's not as bad as the initial one that they tried to give you. But like, it was always the plan from their perspective to roll those changes back. Do you guys think that there's any cadence to that? And this is going to relate to our other news story today as well. But I was reading that and I thought to myself, like, that's actually kind of smart.
I think they heard a lot. I remember hearing a lot of that when Anthem was still coming down. Like when they were beta testing, like, the game, and that people were seeing the prices and were like, this is outrageous, and, got rolled back like immediately, you know what I mean? Because, and I feel like you can kind of almost see this with the way that the developers and producers talk to the community. They're really like, if you see this kind of, and this is just a theory of mine, but if they know that it's shitty and they're doing what you're saying with this door to the face thing, they're like commenting back on this like immediately, you know what I mean? Like they're bouncing back like, oh, we'll change it, we'll change it.
Yeah, there's like no combative. They're like, oh yeah, whatever you guys want, like we're here. But for when you.
It's not, and what they actually wanted it to be, it's like radio silence for however long, till like they literally can't. Like, look how long EA fought for those loot boxes on Battlefront. We just talked about it. Until they finally were, and they didn't give a shit until Disney was like, listen, we're either going to yank the license off you or you change this. And that's when they finally changed it. They didn't even give a shit, But when they rolled Anthem out and then they had those root transactions, they were like, well, don't worry. We hear what you're saying. We're catching what you throw. We'll change it. So I don't know.
They definitely don't. You're totally right. They definitely don't care about the consumer that much to worry about those little things, like the impressions that they get. Like any news is, or any press, good press. It's like bad things they're gonna push out in front of you, and everybody is so married to the idea of loot boxes. These obviously aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So I guess at least they're being upfront about it in that case. If the entire trailer really is about playing pachinko,
you have to see it.
It's
like 4 scenes in a row. It's like slot machine, card packs. Like, get your whole booster pack set, like 20 packs in one. Like, here's your fucking pachinko. Here's your slot machine. Then here, now you get like a card, and like if you play it enough, like it'll evolve into an even better card. Like your Kawhi Leonard will like transform into like Kawhi Leonard Megazord edition. Like it's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, that theory that you're putting out there, it just sounds so awful to me.
Evil.
Yeah, just
so evil.
It would. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're trying to sell, though. And I think just at the base of it, I hate the idea of the loot boxes and the gambling and the ultimate team things. I hate that shit. So then when they're doing it with that, it just feels so much worse than if they were rolling back on, I don't even know, something that I didn't hate so much.
And the Battlefront 2 shit, we just went over the story, how like now that game did so bad upon release because they monetized the game in such like a wicked way, in such a greedy way, now they want to have this great PR and they want to say like, no, like we're working on fixing it. Like it's not as bad anymore. Like we're putting this new content into the game that you can play. And then that quote that they had that was like, we think every day, what if we wouldn't have released with the monetization system that we did? And it's like, you don't get to say that anymore because you chose to release it that way. Like you fucked up. Like you fucking rue what you sow.
By the way, stick around to buy our new DLCs.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, we got episode 9 content coming out. Everybody's like,
Paul the Skywalker's coming out.
Everybody's like, nobody's watching episode 9 anyway, you fucking idiots.
Slap me over the head already.
Oh, boy.
You know what's crazy? You know what I think about when this comes up, and I hate it in games.
Over the head.
And nobody gave a shit when it was like, did anybody as a kid fuck around with Crazy Bones?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Sure did.
What were they? I don't remember.
They are just those chunks of plastic faces on it you flicked across the floor. You know, like it's the worst thing ever. Like, but anyway, this goes along with stuff like card packs. Everybody's down and okay with opening card packs. Like I've found myself at work watching half-hour long videos of people reacting to card openings, and it's like
Yeah,
gold.
It's good
like,
shit.
I
yeah.
can't get enough of that
addicting.
shit. You know,
I don't know why we're not
I don't
doing that
give
on
a
our
shit
channel, to be
about
honest with you.
Pokemon and Magic.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
no, I know exactly what
That
you mean.
stuff
There's
is
a
like
couple-
crack.
There's
you know?
there's a couple of streams on
Mm.
Twitch where they do breaks, so like people buy in and like so for Pokemon cards, like you'll pay $10 getting the break, and then every fire card in the the fucking box
It's yours.
is yours. And
Oh,
somebody
that's
will pay
sick.
$10 and they
Oh,
get
man,
water.
don't
so,
even
like,
tell me this.
I'll
like,
be.
you don't have-
Oh man, I'll be a mess.
and
But
it's
why?
cool.
Okay,
it's
like,
really
look
cool
at
to
us here.
watch.
We're like salivating at this
Yeah,
shit.
right.
Oh, it's a lot
But
of fun.
what
yeah.
makes it so different or okay to do it on a fucking game with skins?
Well, because
Because
Go ahead,
at
Dave.
least you get a physical product when you're getting a card or something. You know what I mean? Like you have something like tangible.
it is
true,
value.
true.
It is value.
But
Whereas
look at,
like a game, it's just digital. Like you can't fucking sell it. It's not even yours technically. It's theirs still. They own the property. Like it's not yours. Like anything on the game is not yours.
but look at
Next year,
Hearthstone.
yeah, it's
you know, or like Magic the Gathering. Sorry, Wolf.
oh, no worries.
When Magic came out with their new game, or Arena that just came out this year, you lose those cards like as the season goes on. You buy packs in Magic, and they change the season. You don't hold those cards. Whether you put money into the game, you lose them.
But don't you get
They
in
give you
game?
all the
Don't
money-
you get
You
equivalent
get all the
in
money
game?
you put into it back to buy
in game
card packs.
in
a
game
game.
card value.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like it's like, wow, I really got this nice card, and now you're taking it away from me. You know,
Yeah, you got to go
like
through
the guy
that
who
whole
yeah,
randomness
I'm not a
thing
big
again,
fan
right?
of that. But you guys get what I'm saying here? Like, why is it okay? You know, like what you know, where's the line there?
Well, it's not, and we've talked about this before.
Like Dave's saying it's tangible and not tangible.
I don't even like. I don't.
That's my problem with it. Like if I buy like a pack of Pokemon cards, I have an actual card that is mine, that I can do whatever I want with it. I can resell it. There's a secondary market for the shit. Whereas like if you buy a fucking, there's Pokemon cards that you get and like somebody's like, oh, I'll give you $50 for it. Like not kidding.
Yeah.
No, I agree with
But, like
you.
if
Yeah,
you get a legendary card on Hearthstone, they're like, okay, great, shove it up your ass. It's not yours. It doesn't matter.
Well, here's my thing with digital games. Yeah, not only do you lose the card that you liked and you put money into the game for because it goes away from the meta, but I've talked about this. I've talked about this so many times, and it still pisses me off. Like when you're playing an online multiplayer game and they change the meta, you're not playing the same game that you paid money for up front. It's a different game. Like they can say it's the same game. It's not. Like Hearthstone from meta to meta, from expansion to expansion, is not the same experience. It plays
right.
differently.
Right, because it's there's like a power creep. Like they have to make new and more powerful cards. Otherwise, why the fuck would you keep playing if it's the same boring thing?
League of Legends from season to season, and I know that game's free up front, so it's not really the same thing, but it's not the same game. Overwatch from season to season, when they release a new champ, it's not the same game.
Right.
And like they just get away with it. I don't know how they get away with it actually. Like it's super criminal. They should not be allowed to update those products on you like that. Because like you have no consent. You have no choice in what they introduce and how that meta plays out. You were just there.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I think a majority of people want changes to keep the game fresh. I don't think that they want it to be the same game for 5 years.
that's true.
Does Hearthstone give your money back like Magic does?
Nope.
It gives you dust.
That's garbage.
It gives you
It gives you-
dust.
Oh,
yeah,
you
it
get
gives-
But does that
dust.
come back?
In-game
dust.
currency.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
you
but
can
like,
spend it back in the game. Yeah.
yeah,
Do
but,
you
like,
get?
you only get
Is it a reduced amount?
Like
yeah, it's a quarter of what it costs. Like so, if
Holy
you just
fuck.
turn a legendary, you get 400 dust, but you need 1,600 to craft a legendary.
Well, see, Magic. If you spend $50 to get 1,000 gems or whatever the fuck it is, you get the 1,000 gems back.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Mm.
not like $10 gives you 1,000 dust, and then next season that dust comes back as
Yeah, but you
750,
still
know?
can't. Yeah, but you still can't refund those gems out for real money.
No,
You can never like cash out.
no.
You know
Could you
that's stuck in the
imagine?
game.
Holy
If
shit.
that game cancels, like that money's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Hearthstone dust that you get back. Like if you gave me a jar of IRL dust, it would actually be worth more money. Yeah, yeah, I could have like $100 worth of in-game dust, and yeah, a jar of dust would be worth more.
I could walk around my house for a few months and just give you that for free. If you
Yeah,
want.
I'll take it. Yeah, thank you. Might be able to put that into the game somehow.
Yeah.
Before we move on, Dave, I would like you to link me those Pokemon card channels on Twitch, please.
I
And,
mean, I will.
Can you
I
hand me
will.
those? Because I'm ready to start gambling.
I mean, it's like it's cool
Dibs on
too.
water, bro. Dibs on water.
it's cool too because like you know what I mean. Like nobody wants to spend $120 for a box of Pokemon cards, but like say you really like fucking Blastoise, okay, but pay $15 getting the break, and then if you get them, you get them. If you don't, you only spend $15. You didn't spend 100. You know what I mean? So it's like you can kind of the concept of the break is cool because you can target what you want. So like you know what I mean? Like if you don't care about Venusaur, but you want Blastoise, then just buy water and you pay less. And if it comes out, you get it. Sometimes you get dick, sometimes you don't, but you're not, you know what I mean? You're not stuck getting things that you don't want, and it's a little bit cheaper.
Anybody else a big Raichu guy?
I hate Raichu. I wouldn't
Give me
ever
What?
evolve Pikachu.
Nah, see, I'm more of a Raichu. Most people like Pikachu. I like Raichu.
They're both
Dave?
kind of shitty Pokemon.
I'd take Electabuzz over a Raichu.
I was gonna say, get Raichu and Pikachu. I mean, blow them out your ass, dude.
What about Pichu?
Ew, that's even worse.
You're just trying to lose now.
You guys are fucking weirdos. Let's move on to this last news story of the day. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
What a troll.
So
Pichu.
Apex Legends recently came out with some new content, some new purchasable content, like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And in that content, there was an axe skin that total, if you bought everything to get to the axe skin, it was $170.
So when you say axe skin, are you talking about axe body spray?
No, just like the skin
Okay,
of an axe in the game.
Oh, you get just a hand axe for $170.
Yeah, so like the way that this played out, there was this Iron Crown event that had 24 unique items. Okay, and they were $7 each to purchase if you spent real money. You could get them in packs, but you couldn't. It wasn't always guaranteed that you would get one. But if you did get one of the 24, you couldn't get a copy. So if you got another one, you eventually would collect all 24. Okay, but they were $7 each if you wanted to buy them outright. Once you have all 24 items, only then could you purchase the Raven's Bite set, which included the axe. But that was like another like 3,500 to 4,000 like Apex points in games, which is like another $30. So altogether, it was like $170.
God, it's
to get
so gross.
To get this Raven's Bite stuff. Yeah. It seems like an obscene amount to me. I mean, I know that like these freemium games need to make money, but I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to ask you. I just say something because I'm like beside myself.
Well, didn't they? You can compare this to that whole debacle with Battlefront 2 when they were like, "Well, we don't want a pink Darth Vader," you know, because it, you know, all that crap, and then people were like, "Dude, it would take you like 800 or 8,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 hours in the game to be able to get this, but you can just pay this amount of money."
What do you mean a pink Darth Vader? I don't know what that means. Just like the color?
Yeah, like people are like, "Well, we don't want to give you that," or you know, the developers.
Oh, okay.
It's besides the point. Go Google search pink Darth Vader
Right,
EA debacle.
Yeah,
You'll know what I'm talking about.
I'll get it after the
But
show.
anyway,
after the Pokemon show.
like hundreds or thousands of hours in the game to earn something that you can just buy outright. Like hundreds or thousands of hours. Like it took us 3 arguments and 3 days to get us to figure out whether we were going to get on and play HOTS again today. You know, like who has 8,000 hours to get a fucking pink Darth Vader skin, you know?
No, I mean, I could have watched like the Phantom Menace like 500 times over instead, you know?
I'm a little confused here. I was reading an article about this, that the community's calling it a paywall event. How is this? This isn't a pay. This is just all cosmetic shit, right?
Well, I think it's a paywall event because you can't get that item unless you have the rest.
Yeah, but it doesn't like affect the game.
Yeah,
people are just bitching because it costs so much money.
Yeah, I think.
Well, because content, I think it's because content is locked behind that paywall. Like you can't earn, you like could never earn that axe.
Right.
It's just not
right.
Awesome.
Right. Well, and like for me, I mean, I understand that, like, you know what I mean? Like free games, they have to make money, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I mean? If you had to pay like $10 for it or something, fine. Like $10, you can live with that. But like fucking 170, that's crazy. And you're an idiot if you pay that much money for it.
I just think, yeah, this
it is.
Yeah,
really
I think it's. I mean, it's safe to. I think it's safe to say.
I think if you know what I mean, if you want to have the microtransaction and stuff, at least like make them like a little bit reasonable.
Just go back.
I mean, that's just me.
Yeah,
Dave,
like, can you even call it?
Bite?
Yeah. Have you seen the Raven's Bite?
Have
Dave?
you seen the Raven's Bite?
I don't care if the fucking Raven's Bite has a fucking.
Oh,
get the fuck out of here.
Will it blow me too?
At what point, at what price does it go from being a microtransaction to just a transaction? Like where is that line?
When you lose the guarantee.
Is it like $150 or what is it? You know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, when did they come to your house and just beat you over the head
With the Ravens bite
with
model?
the Ravens
Yeah.
bite?
It just makes me think about. Did you watch the summit? Did either of you guys watch the summit? It was like maybe a month or two back when they were talking. They had Epic Games and EA and all them there, and they were talking about this stuff. Did you watch any of that?
I had read
It's
some
like
articles.
the best
I didn't.
2 hours you'll get.
I didn't watch it.
Oh my god! There's some of the stuff that they were watching, and then when EA and Epic started to throw each other under the bus about it, and one was trying to make the other one look better or worse. Oh my god! Their arguments over this, loot box microtransaction stuff is just it's gold. It's comedy gold.
The best hour and a half I've spent on the internet the past like 6 months, hands down. It's from
TFT.
E3, the Todd Howard Elon Musk interview with Jeff Keighley.
Oh Christ!
It's two superstars, two geniuses. It's a battle of wits up there, and the jokes are flying. You got to see it.
I love when they.
You got to take an hour out of your day. You sit down and just watch it. It's hilarious, man.
When they were at the very beginning, when they were trying to like talk about how they were friends and stuff, they're like, yeah. What was the? I remember the last time I saw you.
It's the best. I'm telling you, Todd's hilarious in it. I'm not even being like fake.
God.
Like he's funny, dude. Like you got to see it.
Good guy, Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet little lies.
Yeah, that's a good video too.
Well,
but
I
all
watch
right,
anything with Elon Musk in it, so
I would too. Let's wrap the show there. What do you guys think? Is that?
I'm gonna get a whole lot else out of me before we go on a
think that's it?
transaction / microtransaction rant.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I always say we really do appreciate it. Honestly, it means a lot to us. Just seeing the views come in every week, and it helps us keep going. If you really want to support the show, give us an iTunes review. It really, really helps us out. Just lets us know that you like the show. If you do listen on the podcast platforms, check this show out on YouTube. We have the live recording on the channel. We also have our gameplay videos there as well. But thank you so much, and hopefully we will see you again next week.